breaking WWE. And WWE news is always breaking in the world of wrestling because it's the pressing news. It is what needs to be discussed and known at all times. So sources indicate that WWE are considering having at least one more AAA streaming event before the end of 2025. And it could be Survivor Series weekend in San Diego in November. So November rain. That could be really fun. WrestleVotes Radio says this. So again, all of this, take it with a grain of salt. Thank you, Hallie. And here is Tyrese Haliburton saying, appreciate my WWE family. Like, this is his family. Yeah, let's get Ricochet on the phone. Great idea. I'm sure he's real impressed with All Out. I'm sure he was one of the guys who graded it a 9 on Cage Match. So Logan Paul and The Rock have settled their differences and are back on speaking terms again. Dewey cut off all ties with Logan Paul after the Japan incident occurred. Yeah, when people like joke about death stuff and not in like okay, you can make anything funny, but when people joke about when death stuff makes people weird, man. I'm one of them. It's like it's just where people are like, dude, we gotta, so I get why The Rock, and again, people go like, oh, it's pussy, they don't want to get canceled, but it's like, no, what Logan did, like, that's morbid, that's like really tough, and his following is like children. You could have scarred children's, like, I'm not saying there's stories and Reddit posts out there, Logan Paul scarred me with that, but dude, that's what happened. Like, it was just a thing. So yeah, I definitely that Japan Forest thing was like such an L back then, but he is an adult. It's like, okay, he was a dumb kid. Think about all the dumb you did when you're a kid. You can earn and show your maturity. Obviously, there's the TKO. There's an interest in like The Rock being on the board of like WWE essentially when Logan Paul is like one of the biggest stars and whatever. Obviously, there's an element of that. But it's good that they obviously squash their beef or whatever.
He's getting makeup in the video.
Yo, my brother. I know I look super cool right now. This is Bjorn. Say hello, Logan Paul.
What's up, Bjorn?
Yo, brother, I know you're doing Benny Safdie today. I'm so happy, man, that you're going to meet him. That is my guy. That's my brother. And he changed my life. And I just want you to know that. And you guys are going to have an amazing talk. I told Benny how much, man, I just loved you, and you guys are going to have a great talk. And he's he is so nice. I'm actually going to listen to the rest of this off camera.
Wow.
Yeah, sorry. So I shouldn't have filmed it. I was just very excited. Dwayne Johnson, he's been very nice to me. Recently.
That's good, but all this like emotional music and shit. Are you playing that at the Crypto Zoo hearing, buddy? When you're suing CoffeeZilla, Come on, dude. But all good. Just keeping it about the wrestling. Shout out Logan Paul and The Rock, I guess. Speaking of legends, the legendary Leilani Kai shared a heartwarming video when she met some of the NXT women division at a recent live event. And it's good that they're like integrating her into all of the legendary women in wrestling. What was Fabulous Moolah? The Spider Woman, where she shoot pinned Wendy Richter or whatever. Hopefully they bring them in. Hopefully they duct Cyndi Lauper this year in the celebrity wing is what they should do. And they should have her as like a manager in the video game and all that as well. She's a huge wrestling fan to this day. I think Cyndi Lauper, like, they should involve her in all of this stuff, and especially or even like the Saudi Arabia one. But like, come on, man, how old is she? You don't want to lose her.
Hi, I'm Leilani. I just want to say how great you are. I'm so excited to meet you.
And like, here's the thing, right? Leilani Kai, I don't want to. Here's like women who came up in that Fabulous Moolah era. They were wrestling in barns and forced to like bang the guy who's managing them all and all this. It's crazy. It's horror stories. So a woman, like, if she's still invested in wrestling, she knows like as soon as these girls are getting off the bus. She knows the recruits and stuff like that, seemingly, unless she's faking the funk. But it seems like she's, I watched your match. I mean, that's good. I think that's important, because they're on a bus here. They're on this big, nice bus pulling up to a fucking live event for NXT in buttfuck nowhere, Florida. And it's like, this is the type of, like, Leilani can pass knowledge and information in a different type of culture there and hopefully convey it to this generation that they could never possibly understand or have to go through. And not even like in a bad way, like in the good aspects as well. She can impart knowledge or at least tell stories or inspire in a way that they'll never know what it's like to hop in a fucking car with a mark who drives you to the town because they're a mark, and you fucking afterwards someone, you're leaving with the promoter and making sure nobody robs them after as you hit the next town. And like these, it's just the sort of shit that like, I'm so glad that Triple H is into, like, he's really into the legend shit, and that's why he gets flack for being in the Hall of Fame and Steph being in the Hall of Fame and shit. But I just think he understands, like, as fans, it's like Triple H should have been in the Hall of Fame. They should have did it when he had that heart issue right away, just because it's like, you don't know who you have until they're gone, man. It's the truth. Anyways, I know I'm getting deep here on PWT Member Tuesday. She meets all the girls. Leilani, you see JC. It's good. And it's good that they pay respects to the legends, right? Like, it's important. I'm sure someone on the bus said, Leilani Kai's going to meet you there. You fucking show her respect, So as of now at Crown Jewel, dude, we got Tiffy Stratton and we got Stephanie Vaquer, and they're fighting for these Crown Jewel whatever things, right? Man, oh man, my early prediction is Steph. You just push her to the moon. You just give her that run. You give her that unification. And like, Tiffy can take an L in this situation. I don't think it hurts her none. She's over. In fact, like, when she drops that title, I think Tiffy's proved why she's a champ, but I think you could give it to Nia and have Tiffy sort of chase after it, or maybe get moved to Raw or something. We need to see the superstars get mixed, even though anyone can just show up on any show. As far as some of these singles divisions, I mean, LA Knight's over here on Raw now. I'm over here now, but it's like, we didn't even get to really see him turn heel and like have a program with Rhodes or anything like that, And that's what makes me think like Drew and Rhodes are going to feud for a while longer, because you can take these side roads where, Rhodes has to battle for this Crown Jewel thing against Seth again. I could totally see right now, as it's laid out, I could see Rhodes winning this Crown Jewel thing again. They're going to shove Rhodes down our throats the way they sort of did with Roman, and then when he turns fucking heel, it's going to be insane. They're just going to run it in the ground. You have to, because he is, as much as people are like, I'm getting kind of tired of Rhodes, it's the kids, man. It's why they went with Cena for so long. Half the arena is going, John Cena, or 70% are going, John Cena sucks. John Cena sucks. Same old shit for years. Now we're like, oh, John Cena. I'm telling you, Rhodes is on that run where it's like, no, just keep going until it's just just when we least expect it. And I could see him winning that shit, but then he gets a beatdown maybe from Bronson's Seth's guys, like Division, and then you see like Punk run out, like at Crown Jewel, we see like Punk run out, and schmozzy, because last year they just did it clean where it's like Gunther and Rhodes, they win, the belt's presented. They could have Turkey Al Sheik. You don't think Turkey Al Sheik wants to be in the ring while some fucking shit starts popping off? That's probably a dream of his, dude. I pay it so it happened. I want to be there, And he's like fucking gonna be like handing the belt over, and then like Reed and them are gonna tsunami, because they got to set up War Games in November, right? So I think that'll be a blend of like Vision guys and whatever. Now this is what I hope, and I think I'm right about this. I'll hit a fucking X-Files on this one. This is what I'm hoping goes down. I'll start with this is what I hope they don't do. if they split Becky off and then she just starts rounding up women for a women's war game, which is like a proxy feud, like a adjacent, like somehow kind of related to the Vision, but then like kind of tied into the Bailey shit and all that. Yuck. And I know some of you guys might be like, oh, come on now, Phil, when I say this, but it should be a 5-on-5 war games, even though I know WWE likes the 4v4. They like that way better. And you could still do 4v4 this way as well, but have Becky and AJ Lee in the war games, one girl on each side, and have them agree, like, we sign it away. Like if fucking Seth puts his hands, whatever. Okay. And some people might be like, oh, I don't want to see the girls, whatever. But if they're both the last entrance, like if Becky comes out and just starts like helping, like all the baby faces are beat down, and then Becky's just like whipping them and laughing at da-da-da, then AJ comes in, lights her up. The guys are all like, come on, we're whatever the fuck, right? She helps the guys fight, like just turns the momentum or whatever. Like that could be a moment, and they don't have to do too much crazy. Like, okay, if they have like AJ Lee jump off the top and knock down the bronze and all this shit, like knock down 7 people and shit, okay, that'll be stupid. But just have one War Games match and put Becky and AJ in it. I believe, though, now that's just me throwing out a fantasy mark booking, okay? What will happen likely is we just get AJ, Becky, IC title, one-on-one, and then we get a men's War Games. But this is all setting up to men's War Games, which I think Rhodes will be a part of. I could see Drew, if they're adding a 4th or 5th man, aligning with the Vision, but just for this match. I could see Brock aligning with Vision and being in this match as well. And then it could be Rhodes. Who else? The Usos, maybe not them, but he'll just assemble like Rhodes and the Avengers again, just whoever he assembles for this fucking Avengers situation. And then the WWE champion, though, I think, not to jump too ahead, but Crown Jewel, I see Rhodes winning it. And then I could see on the Raw side, the World Championship, Stephanie Vaquer winning it. Yeah, those are my picks, early picks. But Shawn Michaels considers WrestleMania 26, speaking of Crown Jewels, to be his last match, not Crown Jewel 2018. He told Giga Chad Van Vliet that it's the one with Undertaker at 26 because the other one was a tag match. It was DX. And I feel kind of bad because I don't mean it in a negative way, but that was just sort of like, I don't know. He doesn't want to bury it, but yeah, that match fucking sucked, and they just all did it for money, and everyone got hurt. Everyone got hurt other than Kane, who's a freak in that regard, by the way. Kane has never like seriously been injured for a big man, and he's not all fucked up. Like he's not all waddling around. He could probably come back, wrestle a match right now. He's just busy doing mayoral shit, right? Seth Rollins speaks on his retirement. And again, guys, this isn't me going again for the billionth time. Oh, we fucking we're right over here at PWT, like fucking everyone's retiring, but there already are conversations of Seth taking over one day and Rhodes taking over one day and Punk taking over one day. And Seth's like, there's a couple years left, whatever. And they're going to do what they can do to get money, as much money as they can. And I encourage all of that, right? The power, now that Vince is out of the way, the power is in the wrestlers' hands more. And none of these sickos, none of these fucking dirt sheets talk about or explain that. The power is in the wrestlers' hands more than it was, even though WWE is like this giant fucking entity. It really is. With Vince out of the way, there's way more opportunity on the table. And that's one thing that I would say is another positive for the wrestling. Maybe it's not, though. Maybe, but this is how we could see another Fed swoop in. Man, I just watched I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025. That movie fucking sucks. One of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. I shut it off at one point. And my wife was like, "Oh no, please, we have to finish it." And I'm like, "Listen, I can't. It's one of the worst movies ever." Right? But we didn't even get to like Freddie Prinze and shit yet. So I'm like, okay, I just took a deep breath. I put it back, and I'll sit through some stinkers. I'm a movie head. I like bad movies that are like good and bad. But like, it was so bad. It was like offending me how bad it was. Okay. And so anyways, I digress. ultimately, though, Freddie Prinze Jr. did these few movies. This is what he said 3 years ago or something, 4 years ago. He said, I asked my fucking agent, like, if I do this, this, and this, can I afford to like start a Fed? And his agent's like, yeah, I mean, it's a fucking dumb idea, but if you do this, this, and that, yes, your money will be good, and you could sink a few milli or whatever into this, maybe more than, I don't know, just to become a player in the game. Now, who knows? Maybe he's like, I'm abandoning that, whatever. But one of those was that Netflix movie. One of them was that summer movie that fucking sucked. And I'm sure a lot of that was because they gave all the money to Jennifer Love Hewitt and fucking Freddie Prinze. But he did some other movie too. But yeah, he did these few projects, and he's talking about investing in wrestling. I don't know, man. Swoop in and get involved in like a good way in NWA. Maybe that's not the Fed, maybe the stink of the NWA name, but like maybe he could team up with Corrigan and they could do some crazy shit. So it's not just all in court. You know, like let's get a fourth motherfucker in here. Let's go. I'm all about it. If wrestling's getting more popular, let's go. You know what I mean? Let's get GCW beefing with AEW and all this shit. But ultimately, though, WWE lies the kingpin of it all. As much as WWE's bigger than the wrestlers, the more wrestling gets bigger, that might not be the case. Or like it'll always be the case, but WWE's bigger than all wrestling, you know? But I'm telling you, with Vince out of the way, there's way more opportunity for these guys. And you're seeing it, you know, the evidence is right there with the movie roles and Hollywood now working their schedules around wrestlers' schedules. That's crazy. They would never do that before. It'd be like, you're a fucking wrestler. You're lucky to even be in this picture. You know, Scorpion King, you got to leave wrestling to even do this. Otherwise, we ain't even gonna fuck. You know what I mean? Now they're like, no, he's got a big match at Wrestlepalooza. Da, da, da. Like people understand, man. They understand. They're like, no problem. Don't worry. We'll let them know. Da, 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 da. Right? I've seen the emails, man. I know how these people get down. So anyways, let's listen to what Seth has. I'm not saying like, oh, he's retiring anytime soon, but I mean, how long do you guys think Seth goes? 5 more years? And then he's like, I made all the money. What else am I going to, show up for a specialty match time and again? What is he going to reign with this? Maybe right now he reigns with this world title for 4 years or something. And they do something crazy with him. But like how long, like, do you want to be wrestling into your 50s when you're going to basically take over the company and become the Triple H of the company? I don't know.
22 years. I don't know, man. I think the nice thing about our industry is it's an entertainment, right? So you can do this for a little bit longer than your body might allow you to, there are ways around. And the older you get, the smarter you get, and the more equity you have with our audience. And so,
do you see what he's saying? He's laying it out like I could be the GM of Raw and not even like bang my body. You know what I mean? It enters your mind, and especially when you have kids and you're like, I just want to hang out with them. That's why Becky's like just one last run. I mean, we can take her on the road. They accommodate them so greatly.
You get a little extra time, I think. So who knows? I don't know if I want to do it into my 50s. I got a couple of years left on my contract with WWE. But yeah, my daughter is 4.5. She's almost 5. And I wouldn't mind spending some extra time with her in a few years. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's like, let's fucking go to work Monday and I'll be the GM. I'll produce a Raw. How about, it's just like fucking, it's easier than, I don't know. You respect it and you start to see a lot of these superstars. We're going to see, it's interesting because we are going to see like, we really need NXT, some of these stars to start flowing in, I think, a little quicker. Because, like, how does LA Knight go for 5 more years? Drew, Punk, like, you got to think over the next 5 years, all of WWE might change, and we might not have any stars big enough. Like, who do we elevate to that next step? Hopefully, it happens, and they do it the right way. And so far, I don't know. I'm trusting the process. We haven't truly seen. It's crazy because Vince stifled that NXT Black and Gold. Like, what's it going to look like when they take the whole roster over? Essentially. Vince like stifled that, and then AEW came in the picture and a bunch of those guys dipped out. We didn't really see what that looks like, and we're going to in the next 5 or so years. WWE star Piper Niven is out of action with an injury. incredibly unfortunate. We get an update on that. Okay, like a serious update on that. And it's rumored that Piper Niven may never wrestle again or something. Like it's a retirement bad injury, right? And it comes in the wake of Chelsea Green putting out, like, let's put it this way, Niven's gone long enough where Chelsea Green's putting out tweets in kayfabe of like, apply to become part of the Secret Hervis, da-da-da. Chelsea Green's Secret Hervis is getting a new member. And this is before we knew that, like, oh, Piper's out with an injury. They're talking about, oh, they're going to add someone to the Herv. We're like, oh, great. That works so well. That's amazing. Well, the problem is, though, is that there's concern in WWE that this could be a career-ending injury. Now, I think this comes from well, this is Wrestling News Co. I'll just read it. So a concerning update is out regarding the status of Piper Niven. So on a recent episode of Wrestling Observer Live, this is Tryon Bryan here. So again, I really don't know if we can trust it fully, but he reported that there's concern within WWE that Niven's injury could potentially be career threatening. This follows an initial report from Fightful Select. So again, who fucking knows? Like, everyone could just be talking out of their asses. There's concern that it could be career ending. Whatever it is, it's serious, Alvarez said. Hopefully she can come back, but she is out due to injury. It's incredibly unfortunate. I really do hope that Niven can bounce back from this. Hopefully they give her the best doctors and medical sciences and all this shit, the best surgeries and all of that stuff. But Niven is someone who, and it sucks to say this, but we're starting to see even Pete Dunne is producing shit. And he's just like, fuck it. I'll be in El Grande, and I'd rather be in WWE doing this than not getting used in fucking AEW, being gassed up and getting paid to sit at home and not even really be involved in the wrestling business anymore. And we're starting to just see more wrestlers who are like, Shayna Baszler. I'm kind of active. I'll just show up whenever. I can go work with Josh Barnett, who's my guy. I can do whatever the fuck. I'll show up on NXT. I'll produce segments. I'll agent some shit when they need me. They can just call me. I'm right around the corner. You know what I mean? Like, I'm cool. We're cool. I'm not going to go to AEW. It's fucking lame. Or maybe if I do, whatever, but it was fucking wrestle once and dip out type shit. It's like it's not a big deal and anymore to be like, it's not as taboo for some of these wrestlers. I think it's kind of cool, especially when you can accept that role. For some people, their role isn't to be like, look at me, man. Yeah, the sickos and wackos are like, man, if they just let Pete Dunne cook, like, look at him in the NXT UK title division. Yeah, he can't do that like at the biggest, when there's Breakers and Bronson Reeds and there's even guys like Punk dwarfs Dunn. And Punk's not even like that big of a guy. And you have Rhodes, who's like not that huge of a guy. And he makes Dunn look little and shit. It's like, yeah, man, you should be El Grandes. You're going to sell toys like that. They just trademarked an El Grande, whatever. Los Grandes Americanos or whatever the fuck. We're going to talk about it in a second. So we're getting like a full-blown faction of Grandes. And the beauty of that is it's IP. Like, if Dunn gets injured, God forbid, or if he's like, I'm just going to produce more, someone else can become Grande Dos. The same way Ludwig, right? Like, that's the beauty of that. It just works. For the next 100 years, there'll be Grandes showing up and running around. Because it's not, that's like with Doink, they could realistically do that too, but any indie fed can use Doink. Anybody can use Doink. I'm fairly certain of that. But the thing is like, Doink's cool to throw in the video games and shit as just like a computer generated guy. It's not even necessarily based off Matt Bourne or whatever. But Doink is like it's this clown kind of like early 90s, like a guy dressed like a clown wrestling today. It's like too cheesy, But El Grande is just like a fucking luchador. You just know it's a guy who's not a Mexican pretending to be a Mexican luchador. It doesn't matter. It's just like a white dude. It could even be like a black American dude or whatever, or like a black dude from Africa, even, just as long as it's not like a Mexican guy, but it's like an American. Well, no, I guess, yeah, Americano. Well, Ludwig's European and he's running. That's what I mean. It's so fucking brilliant. It's such like a stupid thing that got over, but it's not that dumb as long as the guy knows how to wrestle. And then if you can run with it like Ludwig and like serenade the crowd on Espanol, like, it's fucking genius, takes it to a whole new level. So you don't even have to be American. The group is compiled of fucking Europeans thus far, right? So what the point I was gonna make there doesn't even actually apply. Like, it's not even that nuanced, you know. As long as you can fucking do it correctly, anybody can do these gimmicks. So the point I'm getting at is Piper Niven will always have a job as a producer or a coach in NXT or something like that, because she is a solid mind for wrestling, and she is a woman who in the UK scene, like, she was sought after, you know, like she had a name before WWE UK, like as far as like indies go and stuff like that, you know, people knew who she was. So I think she's someone who is smart enough to get injured like this and not go, hey, I wonder if AEW's doctors will clear me and let me go try and be world champ there or whatever. It's just like, nah, she'll have a coaching gig. She'll be producing. She'll be involved in some way. And I hope this isn't the end for Niven, right? I really, really hope it isn't, because I am a fan of hers. Moving along now. The Thanksgiving holiday week calendar has been finalized, with WWE talent getting the day that after Thanksgiving, known as Black Friday, off completely from TV in order for WWE to make this possible. You could just say Black Friday off, known as Black Friday. Dude, that's funny. There will be a dual taping of SmackDown taking place on November 22nd. So there you go, guys. Giving the guys and gals more time off. TKO COO Mark Shapiro. So again, Triple H really taking care of the boys and girls. Mark Shapiro and them, they don't give a fuck about none of that. They're just like looking at dollars and cents. And he discusses WWE hoping to appeal to more casual fans through things like the Smashing Machine movie starring The Rock. I don't know if those movies appeal to casual fans. I don't know if casual fans are going out of their way to see like the biopic about Mark Kerr and his MMA career. That's sort of like a deep cut thing in the first place, right? But it is an A24 picture. So anyways, he says, for years we've looked at scripted drama. It's fun, it's family, it's made up characters. But the truth is, these are real big time athletes who suffer along right from the same struggles and physical challenges as everyday athletes, and at the same time prevail and conquer and win as often as everyday athletes. Our goal isn't just to serve sports audiences, it's to broaden our audiences into casual fans and into viewers who have an interest in emotional, moving, humanistic stories. So you're getting someone who walks away from that film, The Smashing Machine, emotionally moved, who then maybe pauses and says, I want to get to a WWE event, or I want to watch a WWE event. Without that film, that may never have triggered to do that. Yeah, here's the problem, and that's courtesy of Variety. Here's the problem, bro. Smashing Machine is about shoot MMA fighting. So like in the 90s and the early 2000s. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Maybe people will go, oh, I want to get in the UFC now. And you're just conflating the two. You don't know the difference. I don't fucking know. But hey, he's an entertainment guy, you know? So it's just the beginning for La Primera. Congratulations, Stephanie Vaquer, winning the Women's World Championship and heading to Crown Jewel. Emotional moment. And then people in the comments are like, just kiss already and shit. It's like, man, it's like a father-daughter thing. It's like a fucking, he hasn't known her that long, dude. This is her dream, is to come here. Like, it's just, oh God. Do you have siblings? Have you ever mentored someone to some degree, right? At some schools growing up, they partner you. You're like in the 7th grade, and they partner you with like a 3rd grader, and they go, you're like their big buddy, or you're their partner or whatever, right? And you like fucking, if you see them at recess, say hi to them and shit, right? Like it's this, they teach you that as a kid for a reason, is the point I'm getting at, right? It's fucking, it's just so gross. Like, have wrestling fans need female friends and shit like that, you know. You got to get girlfriends in your life, at least try, you know. Then you understand like what's a, I don't know, more of like a father-daughter thing. Like, this is he put so much creative effort and planning. His life is revolved around like thinking about her and how she's going to hopefully how he's going to position her to turn her into a star and change her life and shit, change her family's life. That's like an investment of your time and energy. People get mad that Triple H is like walking through the entrances and all this shit. He's a creative mind. He's trying to give his all to everything. You have to fucking appreciate that, especially when it's successful. If it was all super shitty, it would be fucked up. Okay, I have a video, 10 minutes of Tony Khan, where Tony Khan's hugging Ruby Soho and pulls her in for a hug, and she's like, "What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing?" It was on their reality show. They put it on TV. She's like, super awkward. Just came into AEW. They've invested so much time. Stephanie Vaquer bet on her fucking self going to WWE, and look how it paid off. Okay? It's just, I don't know. She says, "I fulfilled the dream of my life. Thank you for believing in me, for always supporting me, and for taking care of all of us. I'm deeply proud of my WWE family, and I promise to be a worthy representative. This is only the beginning. La Primera is just getting started." Her life dream. Imagine when she gets that WWE gold. I guarantee she's going to get that WWE gold. Here's a little throwback, just Drew twerking with the New Day. A little fun. Yeah, Drew's awesome, dude. Him, I saw like when he was baby facing with Sheamus, I saw him on a couple house shows. And I don't know. They just, first off, they beat the fuck out of each other, but he just has such a fun time with everyone, man. Drew fucking rules, and he stays, like, he'll stay a while and shit, you know. And I don't know. He's a good dude. WWE announced that Worlds Collide last Saturday set a record for the largest, and this is obviously a while back, but Worlds Collide last Saturday set a record for the largest concurrent live audience in the event's history, peaking at 773,000 live concurrent viewers across the WWE, WWE Espanol, and AAA YouTube and Facebook channels. Yeah, so there you go, man. Destroying Collision, a lucha promotion. So real reason WWE split up Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser. We'll actually circle back to that because I think well, no, fuck it. We'll get into it. Ludwig, he spills the beans on it. He just says, "I've never said this publicly, but it was Gunther's and my idea. You see, Imperium was originated in WXW as Ring Conf. And even though it was set up differently, we were all on the same level, but with different characters. Gunther is insane. He unlocks something in people that only a few can. Of course, there's a risk, etc., etc. But it was their decision. They wanted to split up." So WWE Survivor Series 2025, tickets distributed. This is as of like 5 days ago. So obviously it's updated since then, but about 28,000. It's set up for less than 31,000. This will be a sellout for sure. And they didn't even announce a single match or a single Survivor Series participant or anything like that, and they can kind of get away with that last minute shit. Tony Khan, not so much, but he thinks he can. He looks at WWE and thinks he can, and it's just not working. Ken Kendall, Uriah, Ren, QCC. So here we go. Here's a little Kendall Tuesday, I guess, and we'll get an official Ren's Day tomorrow, but we're checking in with our girl here, Ren.
Okay, so this is our last chance. Charles leaves for Japan soon. Yeah. You know what you need to do.
And she says Charles leaves to Japan soon. We will circle back to that in just a bit.
Oh my gosh, he's gonna love this.
You're gonna get him.
Okay, sure. Yeah. I got this. Let's go.
Charles, what's up, dog? How are you? You eating lunch all over here by yourself?
It isn't Kendall again.
It's Uriah.
Ken.
Not Ken, Uriah. I've known you for a long time, dog. Come on. What are you doing over here?
Where do we know each other from, huh?
I mean, way back, bro.
Do we?
Yeah.
Kendall, whatever your name is, not going to fool me. Look at this. Oh, look at that hair.
I understand.
Well-conditioned, well-groomed
appreciate
hair.
that. Yeah, but I'm not Ken.
Oh, you didn't draw the mustache on this time.
Yes,
You stuck it on. What is that?
It's real.
Glue?
Ow.
What is that?
Charles, Luke came to see you.
Oh, hey, Charles. How are you?
As I live and breathe, Kermit the Frog. How are you, buddy?
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Oh, I
I thought it was going to work here. Why don't you say
I have no idea what the fuck is going on here, but chat, are you with me? So Ludwig Kaiser explains why he and Gunther separated on TV. We talked about that earlier. Seth Rollins discusses his new role as a host for the NFL and what it means for his schedule. So again, we're getting guys like hosting NFL shows and stuff like this, right? So I'm with the NFL for what I believe is 20 appearances this season from September to February. That's across all their TV shows. I think primarily it'll be Good Morning Football, but there might be some Sunday game day stuff. We'll see what happens. I lock in and do Monday Night Raw, and then Wednesday or Thursday I'll be back home in LA. Luckily, the NFL studio where they do Good Morning Football is right down the street from my house in Inglewood by SoFi and the Forum and all that. So I can pop over there in 15 minutes in the morning, do that show, and be done before my daughter goes to school. It's not a bad gig, man. Not a bad gig. Get to go in and lament the Bears for 4 months and then come take my kid to school. It's a big win. I mean, I'm literally living the dream, getting to talk about football and getting to go perform in front of people around the world at my dream job. I'm extremely fortunate right now to be able to do both of these things at the same time. Kudos to WWE for allowing me to take this on as well. I'm not at the end of my career. I feel like I'm just in my prime right now, but I'm certainly closer to the end than the beginning. So it's nice to be able to dip my toe into some other waters and see where it ends up. There you go. Yeah, I'd like a gig like that myself, man. So CM Punk responds to a comment on TikTok wondering when he will retire. We talked about wrestlers retiring throughout the segment. He says, I'll fucking retire whenever I want to. There's work to be done, and you're going to miss me when I'm gone. You're going to miss me when I'm gone. So shut the fuck up. ESPN graded WWE Wrestlepalooza a C. Now, a bunch of people are melting down about this. They're like, oh, the guy, the whatever Hale guy who, like, he's a massive sicko. And he is. The Andreas Hale or whatever the guy who reviews this shit for ESPN. He is like a massive sicko. But who gives a shit? It's funnier this way. Let them give bad grades and then we can check them and go, see, this is why the 18 people who vote on Cage Match don't matter. This is why this is clearly an ridiculous, like objectively, this is a ridiculous rating, which even like Stinkashay agreed with and shit, right? And so here's the thing. A C for Wrestlepalooza? I don't know. Like, I was sitting there, I was like, I give it a solid like A-, right? Because I'm sports entertained. But JJ's like, nah, I give it a C+. And some of the PWT universe, I brought mine down. I'm like, yeah, I think. And then after we're sort of recapping it, I'm like, yeah, maybe it's more like a B-. I'm not sitting here like buzzing after this show. Like I've seen SmackDowns more recently that were more hyped than this show. So I was like, yeah, okay. I brought my grade down even. This guy grades it lower than me even. I don't know. Maybe he's just hey, maybe we got a cup of haters.
Hey. Let's just be fair. We got a couple haters.
So let him grade it poorly, and then someone who's legit will get moved into the slot. That's what I say. I don't care about that. These grades, if the C triggers you, you're entering wacko territory. It doesn't matter, right? We read the Bleacher Report, and they're owned by WBD. And when I look at grades or when I do these reviews of some of these shows, I don't do it as much anymore. But you guys know I go to Bleacher Report. Why? Well, they're owned by WBD. So I want to see if they're like overly hating on WWE and overly putting over AEW, because that's where the that's where the corrections need to be made. And even they're like pretty fair. They rate shit like a C-, where I'm like, I don't know. I thought that was fucking an A+. Like, it's sports entertainment. Whatever. We all have different opinions. It's subjective. But this guy who wrote this is an uber sicko. We can't worry about that though. You know what I'm saying? We can't worry about that. But like, point it out. I'm not saying don't point it out, but like, laugh about it. Trust me, it's not worth being like, well, fuck ESPN or anything like that. It's almost good that they did this. It exposes more people. I'll give you the perfect example, okay? And this is why Dave fears PWT. And
This just in, we have confirmed that Dave Meltzer fears PWT and flutes.
Because we covered on the other show where Dave Meltzer was crying and talking about what the fuck was he saying? Oh, he was like it's separating church from state, or it's like the state of Russia, church from state. It's like the state of Russia having control over the media. It's all, I mean, media is just messed up. It's just everything. It's just this conspiracy theory with Dave. He's like, this biased media. It's like North Korea propaganda in the way that ESPN. Do you think ESPN covers football the same way? This guy got 2 touchdowns. Like, how else do you cover football? Oh, they cover it more because football owns part of ESPN. Okay, who cares? It's like the most popular fucking sport there is. Well, no, soccer or football. Okay, yeah, in Europe and shit. Right? Like, I don't get what you guys want. WWE's the most popular pro wrestling brand. They're going to cover it more now. They haven't posted an AEW article. Okay, they have a sicko fucking grading the WWE shows. What do you want? What do you guys want? Every publication to blow AEW like they already do? That's what we need, is Will Ospreay to go do more shows where people get 100 views on their fucking interviews? What's the point of doing that? That we need more of that and less of like them maybe entering spaces where they might win some people over and shit like that. Like, I just don't get it. Oh, no, nah, man, go to these people who suck balls instead of the biggest and the best, right? Like, what? I don't get it. Like, what do they expect? What do they want? What does Dave want? Oh, ESPN, I mean, they'll cover NHL less than NFL. Okay. There's more NFL fans. Like, what the fuck do you want, man? It's so crazy how he melts down, and he literally compared it to like Russia owning the media. Okay, well, here you go. ESPN, WWE, their own shit graded WWE a C. And they have a sicko doing the grades. Are you happy now, Dave? Are you happy? Is that good enough? Oh, they won't write articles. Oh, Brian, that's all. Dave, are you happy? They have a sicko who has a bunch of pictures since the start of AEW and even before talking shit about WWE. And he's like front row at all these AEW shows. He's a massive sicko. He's friends with AEW guys. He fucking loves AEW. Is that good enough for you, Dave? Or do you need to get this guy? Now people are going to jump all over this guy. He's going to lose his job. Unfortunately, they could just move him over to like, have him cover AEW shit. Have him cover AEW shit and own Dave some more. It's just super funny how Dave got owned through all this. Let these people own themselves. I promise. They'll always do it. I'll always be here to point out why they're fucking idiots and how they just own themselves. I don't even have to do anything. So moving along here. CM Punk reveals his favorite match of all time, and he answers some of Google's questions, which were, I think this is like a GQ thing as well. So shout out GQ.
5783. Curious to know which match CM Punk considers his favorite of all time. A number 1 with a bullet. Myself versus John Cena heading into WrestleMania 29, I believe. The winner got the illustrious spot of wrestling The Rock at WrestleMania. Well, I lost. Big fucking deal. John Cena is my wrestling soulmate. Had excellent chemistry with him this night. Crowd was electric. It's a real fun time. You should go watch it. With 57-8.
There you go. He says Cena's his wrestling soulmate as well. Speaking about Cena, we have lots of Cena news here. Kurt Angle praises Cena as the GOAT. This is coming from Angle. Not Ospreay, not Omega. Well, he never wrestled them. Doesn't have to.
I consider John the greatest of all time. What he's done for wrestling as a pioneer, as a spokesperson, as a champion, 17 world heavyweight titles.
The writer, the ESPN writer who did that article also called R-Truth a COON. I guess if I'm saying Matt Coon, I can say it, but in this, if it gets down to I'm not going there. I won't say it, but Zach Minder pointing that out. That is incredibly fucked up. That's what I mean. So Dave, there you go. There you go, Elboo. There you go. Cry about ESPN. Your own is on their website covering the event. Let him make an ass of himself. That's what I say. Give me more content, right? I'm not triggered by that one bit, but that's fucked up if he's calling truth shit like that. That's what I mean. This is the guy at ESPN. They have their own shit like that out there. It's going to take a while. So when UFC first went to ESPN, they had to weed out like all the dumbasses, like Stephen A. Smith, they have commenting on a Conor McGregor fight. Joe Rogan has to check him live on the air awkwardly and shit like that. Cause it's like, you just don't know what the fuck you're talking about. We're going to have to do a lot of that, and they will refine it over time. Again, I mean, let them make asses out of themselves, right? This only is coming to light because of the fact that he's, such a sicko, and Dave was crying about it and shit. That's the only reason why people are hyper-focused on this shit. If they just stopped, if the dirt sheets just did their job or tried to be actual journalists, no one would really give a fuck. But there's just like this huge fed bad. It's like everybody wants to make everything a culture war. They can't just shut the fuck up and enjoy shit or make fun of shit or be like, this sucked or whatever the fuck. I don't know, man.
No one's ever done that. John has the ability to stay healthy and never get injured. So his elongated career has made him the best in the business. If you look at Undertaker's been hurt many times and had to back out for a while. I've been hurt, had to back out for a while. Stone Cold Steve Austin's been hurt, had to back out for a while. Shawn Michaels, his back was injured.
Yeah.
He had to go for a while. So John's been able to keep his career going, and no one's had that kind of endurance. So I think that's what makes John special. And not only that, but you think about all the Make-A-Wish kids that he met. And, he was just such a pioneer.
I don't know. I could see Brock being Cena's very last opponent and Cena goes out on a win beating Brock. Or is that too much? Because he's been like famously kind of squashed by him. And how do you make it where Cena going out? Because you're supposed to lay down in your last match, like for real. But Cena going out on a win could work if it's Brock. That's the only guy I think you let him, right? But do we want to see that again? I don't know. I could see it. Like, I don't, because Brock said, I will retire Cena one way. So are they really done with each other? Or is Brock like, no, we're going to do one more and Super Cena shows up, saves the day, redeems himself, and then he goes out with everybody like, thank you, Cena. They can't have him go out with him laying on his back for like Roman or Braun in his very last one. And who do you give it to? I just say you have him beat Brock and like kind of conquer that and then Brock gives back in that. And it doesn't hurt Brock any because he's murdered Cena in Minecraft twice already, like brutally, like so, in like a few minutes, both 8 minutes or whatever.
And there for wrestling. So I believe John is the greatest of all time. And to be affiliated with him, I know I was his first match and that was really cool. And I wouldn't have minded of being John Cena's last match, but there's no way in hell I can get in that ring right now. So it's not going to happen, but it would have been pretty cool.
Yeah, it sucks. Kurt kind of isn't able to have like a couple last few dream matches, and he went out, Baron Corbin beat him. I just think that's fucking brutal. Cena's been hurt too. Yeah, his lower back is fucking hurting, and that's why I'm surprised he took all those F5s. And same with Orton. Like Orton, I swear to God, next year will be his farewell tour. And I don't even know if they'll market it that way, but he is cooked. And I'm not hating on Orton at all. There ain't nothing left to do. But like, bro, you get one back, dude. Unless Elon Musk comes in with fucking affordable solar panel charged fucking fake hips and lower backs for people, that doesn't take years off your life after the fucking magnitude of the surgery. I just don't know, dude. I would just fucking do my thing, couple more matches, boom, boom. Not this Mania, but the next one, Orton, I'd wrap it up, We've seen enough. You've done enough. I don't need to see you get slammed on fucking announce tables and shit. Like by Drew. Drew like slammed him on the announce table. Like, bro, come on. I don't need to see that. One of the fucking best ever. Here we go. Here's CM Punk answering more questions.
Here burns. No, I can't, and I'm going to tell you why, even though it's none of your business. Cult of Personality is iconic. This fire burns, also iconic, but come on, we're talking about living color. Vernon Reid. That song's been with me since 1989 when it came out, and I was on the Little League team, the Indians. I knew it was
time. The Indians? That's racist. That's racist. No.
Time to make Cult of Personality.
We don't care. We call ourselves Indians.
Personality, my official theme song in WWE when I was renegotiating my contract and I knew how much Vince McMahon hated to pay for licensed music. And I said, guess what, pal? The only way I'm
yeah, pal. Guess what, pal?
Signing is if I get this song. I thought he was going to say no, and I was going to peace out and go on vacation. And he said yes, and now here I am. Moving on.
Yeah, just getting a little moral victory in there against Vince when you can. I respect that. The 2-day ticket prices for WrestleMania 42 before Ticketmaster and handling fees, section A1 on the floor. $9,000, section B on the floor. $4,000, section R 101, 2,200. 100 level is 1,500. 200 level is 1,300. 300 section, 1,200, and the 400 section. I mean, before fees, after fees, we're talking 1,000 at least. And so there you guys go, man. Hope you enjoy it. Everything in Vegas is super expensive too. This could be a bit of egg on the face, on the head of WrestleMania here a little bit, if I can be perfectly honest. This could, it won't be their highest attended ever, and if I'm wrong, okay. But I just don't know. I don't know, man. The economy's got to go down everywhere so people can afford to do shit again. Eventually WWE's prices and that will come down, but then I think it could get ugly if they bring the prices down and start doing live events again. Those could get ugly as far as who's willing to do them and shit and who's not, Nikki Bella, speaking of being unhappy and not wanting to do shit, Nikki Bella's unhappy with her WWE 2K25 character. She says, I look like I was left in a field for years. She also said, you can't even tell if I'm a female or not. And it's God damn, she's pissed about her look in this game. It's unfortunate, but I mean, these video games are known for having terrible scans. And I'm sure there's someone out there, What's the Status or whatever, who could just fucking create a better version of Nikki Bella, put her on the game. So WWE Shop released new Wyatt 6 merch that was all drawn by Dexter Lumis. So that's a cool little factoid. Earlier we talked about how Charlie Dempsey is headed to Pro Wrestling Noah, and Charlie Dempsey and Harlem Lewis have arrived in Japan for their run in Pro Wrestling Noah. And isn't Harlem Lewis, wasn't he on LFG or whatever? They fucked that show up. Michelle McCool's not as good as Mickie James, not as interesting. People don't want to see her. I'm sorry. They just don't. And then furthermore, she can't give as good a wrestling advice. And thirdly, it's just a bunch of the same people. So they're just all in the system. And I was watching Tough Enough over on Patreon. Consider signing up. And JJ Alexander, I mean, he's got, you may agree with his opinions or not, but this guy's just been around for the last, I think, over 20 years this year now. He's been in and around the business. He trained, with Justin Incredible and some of these guys. And he's booked a lot of these guys. You guys heard on the pod I did with him, Matthew James is telling stories about fucking, he's like, hey, I'm friends with guys in AEW. I lampoon the shows, and he's telling stories there. I asked them stories of they're telling crazy road stories about wrestlers you've known and stuff like that over the years, guys like this. So they might have a different perspective, working in and around. But, JJ was like, dude, at some point in Tough Enough's history, all of these guys were just already in the system anyways. And he's like, you notice that over the years as you watch the show. And I'm like, you know what? That's so fucking true. It didn't really dawn on me oh, yeah, it's kind of like The Ultimate Fighter early on. All the guys on that reality show, they were brought in. So it didn't really matter if they lost in the first round of the tournament. If you were good enough to get on that show, now there's so many MMA fighters out there. The winners of the shows are lucky if they last more than 3 fights, The point I'm getting at is LFG shot themselves in the foot because it became apparent season 2 that fucking it's 70% the same people from last season. Why do I give a shit? They're just all in the system. It doesn't matter. And I did call it out the first season. But if they at least worked the gimmick of next year, it's all new people again. And then the year after, it's all new people again. Even if they're all in the system, but they kind of worked us that way, I think the show would have had more longevity. Not that it was doing gangbuster numbers, but it's fallen below 100,000 viewers, I think. I don't keep up with it too much, but I'm curious to know what it does streaming wise, because I watch it only on streaming afterwards, but I haven't been keeping up. I don't really care. Sometimes I'll throw it on. Even my wife's like, why don't you watch LFG? It's it just fell off, second season, they just fucked it up. They shot themselves in the foot by not having a new crop of talent. So either way, some of these guys are going to Noah right away. Dempsey's out there in Japan.
This is Charlie Dempsey. Harlem Lewis, just arrived in Japan.
Yeah, this guy was just in LFG. He might have been eliminated off that show. So this is what I mean. They're just sending him off an excursion already, Japan. So that's really cool. I think that's a good thing. But then that show's pointless. Why the fuck am I watching that show? You know, it's not life or death. None of it really matters. And we should know that because it's pro wrestling. But at least Tough Enough for a while had that element of like Nydia and Maven win season 1. You don't see anyone else. You know, that one guy, Greg, goes on, he wrestles in like GCW or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Maven went on, had a bit of a run in WWE, but you didn't see like Chris Nowitzki a few years later. Like he got sent to developmental, but a bunch of those people, you never saw them again, even in the wrestling business ever. I think one girl, we Googled it. She did like a one-off in TNA in like 04. She had like a match on one of their weekly pay-per-views or whatever. That's it. Like a bunch of these people just disappeared off the face of the map. So LFG, there's no element of that being a possibility. And I think that kind of ruined the hype of the show. I digress. We don't need to get into this more. PerBodySlam.net. And shout out everyone going out to Noah and everything. That's super gangster. PerBodySlam.net, the match between Tiff Stratton and Nia Jackson Cargill for the WWE Women's Championship will no longer take place at Wrestlepalooza as originally scheduled. Instead, it's now set for the next week's episode of SmackDown. Brian Alvarez, Trying Brian, was like, you know, Tiffy's on concussion protocol. And Nicolo Piccolo was like, nah, dude, that's not true. They're keeping her off because whatever. But I mean, in the end, it seems as though, and I mean, Nicolo Piccolo would know. I'm sure he talks to Tiffy and shit, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, concussion protocol, right? I mean, that if it's not that, it's some sort of injury. I think Trying Brian was right on that one. It was some sort of like, we just can't have her wrestle right away, you know? And it's just like Tom Holland. He fucking cracked his head on the set of Spider-Man. And then the news was all like, oh, life-threatening, like could be insane. Piper Niven level. That's why I don't want to put too much on that Piper Niven stuff. It's like it could be blown out of proportion. Hopefully it's not. Or I mean, hopefully it is, rather. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully it's not. Dummy. Hopefully it is being blown out of proportion and she's okay and it's not serious. But with Tom Holland, it was just like, oh, he has a mild concussion symptoms, and so they need a week off. And I'm not saying that's to have mild concussion symptoms is anything light that should be taken lightly either. What I'm saying is that He's hit his head. It's happened. You know, football players deal with worse every goddamn week during the season. Not that that's a good thing, but I am just saying, like, he banged his head. Take a week off. Take a fucking stay up today. Don't go to sleep. You know, that sort of thing. Just all the precautions a fucking doctor or nurse will tell you. Totally normal and just being safe. Give Tiffy a week off. Just let her recalibrate, even if. Just to be safe, right? Even if she didn't have a concussion, even if it wasn't serious symptoms, she rocked herself pretty good. Just fucking give her a week. There's no point in putting it on Wrestlepalooza. They had enough on that show already. NXT star Lainey Reid has been added to WWE rosters page. Don't let her Southern charm fool you. I don't need to read the thing, but Lainey Reid, man, just taken over by storm. They're investing a lot in her. And yeah, she's there on the roster page now after appearing on TV shows and shit. I think she already popped up on a Raw or something. Am I mistaken about that? Wasn't she like in the crowd or some shit, or came out with someone on a? She's been everywhere. So shout her out. During an interview on Bussin' with the Boys, The Miz opened up about his relationship with his father and the one simple moment he wishes they could share. Miz says, I would give anything to have a dinner with my dad and just my dad. He will not do it. I go to that dinner. There's 45 people. These are all his friends. He just doesn't get that I just want to hang out with him. Damn, what the fuck? He explained that as his father gets older, the desire for that one-on-one time has become more profound. My dad's getting older. I don't live in Cleveland. I live in Las Vegas. Now I'm going to see my dad how many times? He's 70-something years old. How many times will I see him? The Miz revealed he plans to make a bet with his dad over a game of golf to finally win the private dinner. Damn, man, that's some trauma shit going on there on his dad's end or whatever that they need to deal with. But hopefully he gets that dinner. I don't know. People... relationships with fathers can be weird, you know, and your parents can be weird. And so I don't judge it. I'm not like, oh, that's fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, you can't judge, but you never know. No one will ever understand a family dynamic like people in a family. You know, some things just, even if you explained it to people, it would sound crazy on either side, or, you know, it's just like everybody has that with everyone. So John Cena and Drew McIntyre are being punished for attending Vince McMahon's birthday party. Here is a conspiracy theory from Coach and Bro. Let's hit the X-Files. So Coach is there and Vince Russo, let me tell you what's going on. They are being punished for going to Vince McMahon's birthday party, bro. But Coach had this to say. Anybody that was at Vince's party either was not pushed in the last month. Drew was there. Here's the problem. What does that mean, was not pushed in the last month? What does that even mean? Here's the problem. Drew is a busy man. Drew's a busy man, and there's something he may have been scheduled to do that he isn't doing, that all of a sudden he isn't doing till maybe next year sometime. And maybe their plan was like, oh, fuck. Well, we thought you were dipping out for a little bit, and maybe you still might, because I've heard allegedly Drew has some time banked up that he can take, not like a huge amount, but has some
Allegedly.
banked up. Like, all I'm saying is, like, Coach, why don't you try like calling him, or like your sources were off on a bunch of shit already so far when you tried dirt sheeting it up. I just think like they don't know what's going on necessarily fully when it comes to, Drew's got a life and shit. There may be plans that are outside of WWE that might, So he says pulling the Boston show away from Cena. Now, nobody's more of a Vince guy than Brock. Let me repeat that one more time. Nobody's more of a Vince guy than Brock. Was Brock at his birthday party? No. Brock and Vince probably should not be near or around each other or texting each other for a while, I would say. If I was Brock, I'd be fucking pissed at Vince for roping him into his bullshit, to be perfectly honest. And I take that strong of a stance because Janelle Grant's own lawyers said Brock did nothing wrong and he did nothing illegal. And I believe that's verbatim. They tried to condemn him upon his return because they're trying to go after WWE as an entity, but they're not going after Brock. And they were very particular in the way they worded shit. They made it about how WWE doesn't really care, whatever, but they didn't slander Brock again. Yeah, Brock is probably mad at Vince. There's probably something to that, but and hey, maybe that could lean to the theory. Well, exactly. That's why they use Brock to punish him. I just don't think it's that, man. I think they had to have a short match. I think Brock they're going to be using to do some other shit. I think they're going to use Brock to get some guys over here. And him beating Cena and looking juicy and like he hasn't missed a step. That's the most Brock shit ever. He ended Taker's streak. Everyone was like, what the fuck? He came back and just smushed Cena that first time. Everyone's like, what the fuck? He's in this match with Orton and everyone's like, yeah, man, Orton's going to RKO him out of nowhere. Orton can be the guy, man. He's got the speed. He's a veteran, right? What happened? Brock took him down and just elbowed his head open and gushed him. Everyone's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Brock is that dude where he just does what the fuck shit. So and why? Because you use him. You have Cody Rhodes beat him in a trilogy or whatever the fuck, right? Or they had that mini feud that Rhodes won. That's why. Why? Well, Rhodes is your top guy right now. You have him eliminate. Remember when Brock came in the Rumble and just eliminated 15 people? And we all were like, what the fuck? And then Drew Claymored Brock out of the fucking Rumble, and that shit legitimized Drew. And then Drew was the guy in the Thunderdome era, and he came out of the Thunderdome era, and we almost don't even count it. Like, I'm like, I want to see Drew win that WWE title one time. People are like, oh, come on now, Phil, that's not very fair. You knew he was WWE champ. Yeah, that was such a weird fucking time, though. It's hard to like even process that happened. Does it really count? It does, but Jesus Christ, I'd like to see him run with that thing in this era and shit. What I'm getting at is I wouldn't buy too much into Coach's fucking conspiracy theory here. So he said Triple H promised a bunch of surprises tonight at Wrestlepalooza. We got 2. Heyman bro. He's a promoter. It'll be fucking phenomenal. Oh, that's his job, dude. That's his job. And there was surprises, dude. McMahon Undertaker comes out, we pop. McMahon finds out she's fucking getting inducted. Brock squishes Cena. Heyman aligns with Brock for that match. There's clearly more to it. That's clearly setting up War Games where Brock could be in that shit. Now, why would Brock be in War Games? To get the bronze and give everyone the rub, man. That's why. Like, I just think this is a very, and then like, oh, we didn't get enough surprises. You guys always cry about how many. Vince Russo, bro's always like, bro, let me tell you, Triple H is a pop merchant, bro. You guys all complain when he does nothing but surprises and shit. So like, which is it? It's just fickleness, and it's people who Vince McMahon isn't there, and so like again, Coach was in the locker room when Triple H and Shawn Michaels were burying people and politicking, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So he's bitter towards them. The same way MVP is like, fuck Triple H. I don't like him. Why? Because he was like, when there was an era where DX were on top and Triple H is feuding with Cena, and everyone's like, why isn't MVP getting a run at the title? That's why. Okay. I'm telling you that. A bunch of these guys will just always look at it that way, and I can't fully blame them. I don't fully blame Edge for being like, I don't know, man, working there while Triple H is my boss. He's never said that, but like, come on, man. Think about it. It might not be ideal for everyone. Some people just put that shit aside, whatever. But a lot of people might not like that. And Vince Russo really helped. Remember, guys, Vince Russo was the one who sort of invented the idea of DX. This is according to Jim Cornette on his show. Vince Russo came up with, let's put Shawn Michaels and Hunter Hearst Helmsley together, bro, and call them the Elite. That's a real thing.
Thank you, fuck you, bye, boom.
So Vince Russo probably thought that Triple H, like he really pushed certain guys like Jeff Jarrett, Triple H and shit like that. He probably thought, and this is courtesy of fucking Dirty Sheets. Billy Body pointed this out. No one else. He worked with Vince Russo, so he would know. And Billy Body pointed this out. No one's really talking about it. And how Vince thought he would get a job once Vince McMahon was out of the way. And maybe at least like someone would call Vince Russo on the phone and be like, hey, dude, maybe you got any ideas? Throw them around, da-da-da. And maybe he's butthurt because of that. And that's why he won't look at this objectively. And he just has a biased hatred towards WWE. And so does Coach right now for, I'm sure, similar shit. Cody Rhodes speaks after Wrestlepalooza. This is courtesy of ESPN. And he says, tonight was history.
I'll keep it brief.
People aren't losing their fucking minds here. I mean, I think people are getting tired of the Rhodes title run here. And he will have a nice heel run eventually. I firmly believe that, but just don't do it yet. Ride it into the ground. That's what I have to say. Just ride this into the ground. It's the kids, okay? It's the same. I talked about this earlier. When 70% of the crowd's chanting, John Cena sucks, 15 years ago or whatever. When fucking 70% of the crowd's chanting same old shit 10 years ago or whatever at Cena. We need to get it to that point with Rhodes. And then it'll just mean so much more when he does go heel. Because Cena never went heel till way later. It's his final run. So they're like, fuck it, we'll do this for a few months. Why not? Vince is out of the way. We can have fun with it. It doesn't hurt him any. Doesn't hurt his legacy any. Because now this babyface last few matches just means so much more. And so Rhodes, you just got to run it into the ground, and then he will go heel, and everyone will be like, fuck, and then we'll love to hate him,
Certainly grateful for those who have been part of WWE, for those who are brand new. You might have got the sense tonight that tonight was history. WWE's first PLE on our wonderful partner, ESPN.
Do you hear people booing ESPN?
I think it's important that you know.
We don't give a fuck. We have to have 15 things to watch WWE. We just want it in one place. See, this is the problem is Dana White and this isn't what WWE's saying. They just expect you to follow it everywhere. And Dana White went through this before, like almost a decade ago, I want to say. Maybe a decade ago, where he was doing, at one point he's having like Alexander Gustafsson fight in like Sweden or whatever, and then it like rolls over and it's at like 2 a.m. as the same day as like an American fight night, and he was just like, well, that fight in Europe's not for you. And everyone's looking at him like, are you retarded? Like, it's all for me. It's a sport. You know what I mean? That's like saying fucking, and he goes like, oh, well, you don't watch every hockey game or whatever. Like, you don't watch every fucking, there's 82 games, baseball games. You don't watch every one of those. It's like, yeah, but dude, they play 160 times. They play 82 games a year. I still can keep up like with the ticker and the highlights and all that. But with wrestling or fighting, it's like, no, I want to see everything. Like Gustafsson doesn't fight 82 times in a season. He fights 1 to 3 times a year. No, I want to see that, and I want to see everybody. You know what I mean? So that they stopped doing that because UFC's like, fuck it. We'll just have one event on at whatever time, and if it's in the UK, we'll do it just what works on their time, and our fans will follow us. Like clearly, whatever. So with WWE, they just expect it. And they will with the times, but not when you spread yourself so thin on 13 different fucking things. But what WWE wants, they just want 100% of the market share. And they want to be on like every streaming. They want to have at least a show going on every major platform, network, whatever YouTube situation you can have. Netflix. Oh, everyone's talking about fucking the Nielsen ratings and network. We're going to have something on network. We're going to have something on fucking on your phone on YouTube if you want. That's all. They just want to take over and be partnered with anybody, like any of these big feds that exist, like TNA. They want to stamp out AEW and they want to like, okay, yeah, we work with TNA though, but they accept their position as number 2, which is almost, it's smarter for their business, but it's almost setting it up where this could backfire on WWE down the road. And if AEW is smart, they take advantage of it now, but they don't know how is the problem. Anyways, people are booing ESPN, not make it about AEW.
Strategically picked that it was right here in the United States of America, and it was right here in Indianapolis. Thank you guys for being part of history. You know I love you. God bless you guys. Have a great night.
And how could it backfire? Well, let's say TNA blows the fuck up. Let's just live in a fantasy world here where it blows up to like it is the conversation. And like the numbers back it up where it's like, holy fuck, they're beating NXT now and shit. Let's just go to a dream world where that's the case. And then let's say they go, well, we don't want to partner with WWE anymore. Who knows, man? It could really fucking things could really change. It could backfire on WWE a little bit. Now, will TNA take over WWE? Fuck no. Nobody's ever going to do that. Someone would have to come outright like the Saudis. The only way WWE gets taken over is if the Saudis just go like, we're buying the whole thing. They buy it and then they change it to AEW or something. That's the only way it could ever be, or they change it to the Saudi Arabia Wrestling Entertainment. That's the only way WWE won't exist anymore. You know what I mean? Someone has to buy it outright, then just completely change it. No one's going to like knock it down a leg. No one's going to WCW it again. TNA could position itself where it's like, now we're competing with you, WWE, and we don't want to work with you anymore. Now, I don't think they're dumb enough to do that, and it is fucked up, like not challenging authority and shit, but if WWE spreads out, lets AAA do their own thing. Like the current regime of WWE is like, we're going to let everyone do their own things. TNA, do your own thing. AAA, do your own thing. Yes, we're positioning our cream of the crop creative people. We're going to put them in fucking positions to help this shit and make it the best it can be. But like, do your own thing. You guys over here, do your own thing. All Japan or Noah, we're going to send guys over there, do your own thing. Now, if we get to a point where like New Japan is also working with WWE and shit, I think that might, with this current regime, I think it's good for the wrestling business, the way they're helping the indies thrive. They're helping, promote TNA and these other companies while letting them do what they want to do at the same time. I think that that's good. And they're investing in the future of pro wrestling, something AEW is not doing at all. I think that that's a net positive for pro wrestling in general. Like, would I love it if a company like a third or fourth popped in and was like, well, Scrooge McDuckbucks, right? Comes in and is like, well, I'm fucking like the Ted Turner swoops in again and goes, well, fuck it. Or the Saudis go, we're starting our own Fed and we're putting these guys in and we're competing with WWE. I mean, Whoo, that would, I mean, I'm down for all that. I'm not saying TNA is going to do that, but they could get in a position where they're like, nah, we can offer guys lots of money to come here and we don't even got to work with you anymore. That could happen at WWE if they fuck around too much, you know? But that's why WWE's also being loosey-goosey with like, hey, you guys go to Hollywood if you want. Hey, take your time off, go do a movie. We'll still be here, you know? They got to be. The landscape's changing, and it's for the better for wrestling fans if you want to consume wrestling, but it's not if you want to, like, pay to consume everything. You're fucked. If you want to go to live events and shit, that's, like, for the elitist. That's becoming more like elitist, like boxing. You look at old boxing videos, it's all these people in tuxedos and shit. It's all like the mobs there and fucking politicians and shit like that, you know? And even current boxing and shit, it's just celebrities. It's fucking influencers. MMA was more for casual people, but they've priced motherfuckers out. Like, again, a UFC fucking show is so expensive. It's been so expensive for so long. And WWE's just doing that now. And if you want to, like, pay to go watch live wrestling, it's getting more expensive and harder than ever in some aspects. If you want to watch, like, the best of the best, go support your local indie. But even indies are charging more now because everything's booming, I would say. So, yeah, it is what it is, man. Speaking of booming, the first inductee into the 2026 Hall of Fame, Stephanie McMahon. Now, she deserves it. We could talk about her career. She, you know, started out modeling the merch, and then she started out as Andre the Giant's best friend. We can't forget that. And then she models the merch, and then she's on TV. Was a tremendous character. I was rewatching some of the Invasion stuff, like her talking and selling and the facials and her, like, acting and shit was some of the best at that time. And you compare it to now and you're like, God damn, she was so good just at, like, getting her little spoiled rich brat shit over. She was in a bunch of key storylines. Everyone had a crush on her growing up in the era of where her being the GM of SmackDown fucking ruled in the Ruthless Aggression era. Some of her entrances with Triple H, her cornering Triple H, also somewhat being a DX member, I would say, that gets overlooked. There's a lot of DX members, man. Well, not a lot, but a few that get overlooked, right? Stephanie being one of them. Rick Rude being one of them. And who else gets no love? Tori gets no love for being in DX. It's kind of crazy, but I would say Steph was in DX. Like, I mean, she was right there with Triple H in his corner for a bunch of that, had the women's title and everything. So she deserves it, man. And I like when they bring her out, that she's sitting front row. And I like when they bring her out there to like announce attendances or be like you know, welcome to fucking WrestleMania or whatever. I think she deserves that. And I think for as good as a person and the fucking bullet she's had to bite down on and the uncomfortable position, you know, just doing what was best for WWE to thrive in whatever era they're in and playing whatever role she needs to play and learning along the way. I think that she deserves this. And, like, again, we wouldn't have, like, John Cena famously. Well, the stories go that, you know, Cena famously was going to be let go. And it's sort of Stephanie that was like, well, do that rap shit and try that out. And if it works, it works, you know, like, she gave people chances. She opened doors for people, went to bat for people over the years. And she deserves this for sure to be inducted into the Hall of Fame and just do it now. I mean, the McMahon and Helmsley era, like, just induct all of that and then move on. But WWE has filed to trademark Los Americanos. So there you go. Here is Triple H. Speaking of Stephanie's induction, here's Triple H reacting to the induction.
It is my esteemed honor of fame. Can you do that?
It's like telling Taker, and like earlier we read someone saying, like, Triple H and Steph, like, oh, kiss already or whatever. And it's like, that's like saying that to Taker and Stephanie McMahon. Like, he knew her when she was a kid. You know what I mean?
We got you.
Like Undertaker helped save their family's fucking company from going under and shit. It's being like, oh, why don't you guys make out already? Or Triple H getting jealous that Taker's there with his arm around his. It's like they're fucking family, dude. So funny.
What an incredible moment.
Yeah, that's got to be awesome. And for Triple H, it's like, just give it to your wife. You have this chance. A Macho Man biopic is in the works with Kenan Thompson set to produce. So at least he's just producing it. I wonder who they'll get to play Macho Man. We should fantasy cast Macho Man. That would be fun to do. 2 matches are set for WWE Crown Jewel. We already talked about that. And John Cena versus AJ Styles, the 3rd match. So we're getting Rhodes versus Rollins. We're getting Stephanie versus Tiffy. And we are getting John Cena versus AJ Styles at Crown Jewel. And this came about when John Cena tweeted something out. I might have unbookmarked it, but he was like, hey, like, I don't always pick my opponents. Like Triple H, AJ, are you guys listening? Like, I give the people what they want. You know, they want to see me wrestle AJ, that sort of thing. And I fucking love that. And AJ might be out of here too. So I don't know, man, playing the hits. And one of TNA's greatest of all time, one of WWE's greatest of all time, AJ Styles, and then one of just the greatest of all time in general, John Cena throwing down. This is a super match in Perth, and the crowd's going to go ape shit for this. And I fucking love this. And I'm super excited for Crown Jewel thus far, because I'm okay with those like super Crown Jewel titles. Like, they do that shit in fighting all the time, man. They, you know, I don't care about all that like champion versus champion stuff. It's just more sports based in my opinion. And if they keep that gimmick every year, I'm okay with it. Like, hey, Crown Jewel, wherever it is, that event, the champions fight each other, and then we avoid doing this like brand supremacy, or like we're going to unify the belts. Like 1 year at Crown Jewel, they could do that eventually if they decide, okay, no more brands, or like hard brand splits, but champs go on both shows, like the way your boy Phil's been pitching forever. They could do that at Crown Jewel, and they've like established that gimmick sort of. So that's a total positive. But I'm super excited. John Cena called his shot finally. He's like, I don't call my shots, but we listen to the fans here. Like, Triple H, are you listening? AJ, are you listening? And we're getting it, man. And I can't wait. Like, this is the kind of guy John Cena should be wrestling, because AJ's going to make him look phenomenal, pun intended. And yeah, it's going to be something special. And I'm surprised they didn't do one like this in Saudi, but I could totally see. Does John Cena have a Saudi date? I can't remember. I think he's retired before any Saudi stuff goes down again. Am I correct about that? I might be wrong about that. But yeah, so this is one of his last appearances. He has 4 more, 5 if you count this one, but 4 more where we don't know. Is he wrestling? Is he just doing promos? I could see him doing like 2, like this being his second last match, maybe, unless his last 4, they're all matches. Right? Like, what you do, because he's not going to do a promo. He's just going to show up and fucking at Crown Jewel, unless he's scheduled for something I don't know before this. I could see him just showing up at Crown Jewel. He just has to tweet about this. It's already a big event. And the people in Perth getting what they deserve there. So shout out that match. Stephanie Vaquer says she had been sick recently. So people were saying she's injured. Just turned out she wasn't feeling well. She says, to be honest, the last 3 weeks I was not good. I was sick. My body does not feel like 100%. I feel a little weak. I could not train really good the last month. But when I was back last Monday, I really feel that people, and I really feel everything and really forget everything. So she's speaking a bit of broken English here. She just felt fucking sick, and people lied on her name, dog. And as D'Lo Brown would say, when it comes to Vaquer, you're messing with the real deal now. Woo! Gonna kick your sorry ass out on the streets. Here is D'Lo Brown reacting to himself in WWE 2K25. And I love it, dude. And D'Lo Brown in 2K fucking rules. So does Mark Henry. I used him a little bit. And these DLCs rule, man. Victoria's fun. I played with each of them. And having the New Age Outlaws rules. D'Lo Brown, though, I've used him like an odd amount of times, because I just feel like it's been since like No Mercy or some shit, one of those SmackDown games, since we had D'Lo in a game, and they like added his sky high and all that. So it's awesome.
It looks real. That's pretty spot on. Strut everything. Oh, wow. The depth of reality in this is crazy. I mean, video games have come a long, long way. I mean, look at the arena, the fan. This is awesome. Look at me walking across the ring like that. Damn, that is pretty spot on. I cannot wait to play this game. Wow.
Let's see Nikki Bella's reaction, where she one of her quotes was, "I don't even look female. You can't even tell if I'm female or not," or something like that. So that, ladies and gentlemen, was WWE news. A long one, I told you guys, man.